Hello everyone, my name is Rashmi Agashe from Cadd Center Wardharoad, Nagpur. Today we are going to learn about how to define attribute block and how to modify it. First of all, what is attribute block? Well, attribute block is a label or tag that attaches data to a block. Now let's see the content that we are going to discuss about in this session. First of all, attribute definition. Next is attribute edit, then display attribute, and after that manage attribute. So here's the attribute definition. Attribute is a label tag that attaches data to a block. Well, attribute block is used to extract information in the database or table format. You can associate more than one attribute with block and provide that each attribute has a different tag. For example, data that might be contained an attribute are part numbers, prices, comments and owner's name. These are some steps for attribute definition that we are going to see in AutoCAD. First of all, we will create an object. So, I am taking here circle command with radius 1.2 meter and then take a line command. After that, I am taking here offset with having distance 0.05 and then trim the remaining portion. Then I am going to define attribute to this entity. So to define attribute block, go to the insert tab. In block definition panel, define attribute is here, or simply tab ATT DEF. The attribute definition dialog box is here. After that, we will fill tag. Tag specify the name with which to identify the attribute. One thing you should know about the tag, that it cannot have space. Like I am going to write here as a door. Now let's see the prompt, which we will see when entering the data for the attribute. If the prompt is not entered, then attribute tag is used as a prompt. Next is default, which is used as a default text for the attribute. We can write here as a door symbol. And after that, these are the text settings that we should know. First is justification. You can change the text justification from here. Text style, annotative or standard. If you want to change text height, then you can change from here. If I want inclined text, then I will change here. Then OK. And insert the attribute to this object. Then convert this object to block. B enter. Specify the name. Take a pick point. I am going to take this as a pick point and select object and convert to block. Then you can see this dialog box, edit attribute. This is the prompt that we written and this is default text that you can change here, and after that OK. the attribute is applied on your object. Now let's see the mode that we can set while defining. First is invisible. It specifies that the attribute value are not visible when the block is inserted. For example, I can write here as a name, then set prompt, specify the software name, and after that I can write here as a default text AutoCAD, then set mode as a invisible, then insert this attribute and take a rectangle command, create a rectangle and convert into a block. Pick point, I can set here select object and convert to block. The edit attribute block is here and I set OK, but the attribute block is not visible here. When I insert it, here is also the attribute block is not visible. To visible the attribute block, go to block panel, click on retain attribute display icon or simply type ADDISP. You can click in on for display attribute. Next mode is constant. It gives attribute a fixed value when the block is inserted. For example, I am going to write here constant, then set the mode constant. You can see here the prompt option is off. Then I can set value of default as the same constant. Set, then place. Create an rectangle and convert into a block which has name constant. Pick a point and I am going to pick this point. Select an object and OK. You can see this, the prompt option is not available. After that, verify mode is here. That prompts you to verify the attribute value is correct when the block is inserted. We can set here as a verify. I can provide here tag as a verifier. Then set OK. Insert here. Create a rectangle and convert into a block. Take a pick point, select an object, OK. You can see here the attribute value is correct or not. You can verify here. Next is preset. It set the attribute to its default value when the block is inserted. It's same as a constant mode. The difference, you can write prompt in this mode. After that, lock position is here. When we select lock position, the attribute is set we cannot move from one place to another place as a text. Like I am going to write as a log. Next is prompt and default value. Click OK. Insert here. Create a rectangle and convert into a block. Take a pick point, select an object. OK, and default value is here. Then you can see the attribute text is set here. We cannot move. If lock position is not selected, like this, and I'm going to insert here, create a rectangle, convert into a block, set here. Then you can see the attribute block is can be moved around as if were regular text. Next mode is multiple line. It specifies that the attribute can contain multiple lines of the text and let you specify a boundary for the attribute. And here is the multiple line mode. You can set here, and I can put here here is the default value, and here is the icon. You can set attribute on a drawing. It's similar as a text. And you can modify it as a text like this. Set OK. Create a rectangle. Convert it into a block. Place OK. And you can set here the icon. You can change attribute on a drawing. Next command is attribute edit. It is used to change attribute information in a block. For edit attribute, go to block panel. Here is the attribute edit command. You can see here is the two methods for edit attribute. First is single and second is multiple. When you want to edit one attribute at a time, you can set here, and when you want to edit multiple attribute at a time, you can set multiple, or simply click ATTEDIT. Then select the attribute which you want to edit. Like I am going to click here. The default value you can change here. If you want to change attribute properties in a block, then double click on attribute. You can change from here the properties of the text. You can change the color from here, line width and layer also. Next is text option. You can set text alignment here. After that, manage attribute command is here, which is used to manage attributes for a selected block definition. For manage attribute command, go to insert tab. In a block definition, manage attribute is here, or simply click BATTMAN. The block attribute manager is here. Now you can select block from here. If you want to edit, like I am going to set name. If you want to edit specific block, then go to edit. You can change here the attribute properties like modes, data. If you want to change tag, prompt or a default value, you can change from here. Text option and properties. Like I am going to change here color. You can see here. Then OK. Apply. OK. Before winding up, let's see in short what we have covered in this session. First of all, what is attribute block? Attribute block is a tag or a label that attaches data to a block. Then the contents. After that, attribute definition and their examples. Steps for attribute definitions. Options to define attribute block. Here is the tag that specifies the name with which to identify the attribute. Next is prompt. This is what the user we will see when entering data for the attribute. Default. This is default text for the attribute. Next is mode. We can set mode for attribute at a specific situation. First is invisible. Specify that the attribute value are not visible when the block is inserted. For a display attribute, go to display attribute or simply click ATTDISP. Then next is constant. Gives attribute a fixed value when the block is inserted. Next is verify. Prompts you to verify that the attribute value is correct when the block is inserted. After that, preset. Sets the attribute to its default value when the block is inserted. Next is lock position. This option locks the position of its attribute within the block reference. If not selected, after definition, the attribute can be moved around as if it were regular text. Next is multiple line. Specify that the attribute can contain multiple lines of a text and lets you specify a boundary width for a attribute. After that, we covered attribute edit command, which is used to change attribute information in a block. Next is display attribute, which is used to control the visibility overrides for all blocks attribute in a drawing. And after that, we covered manage attribute, which is used to manage the attribute for selected block definition.